Wilbon, who was at the Garden last night. A completely different game, too, than game one. As Wilbon predicted yesterday, much more competitive on the Sixers side, but the Knicks still pulled it out late. So, Michael, what was the key to New York's ability to win this game down the stretch?
Well, the Knicks are certainly capable of playing stifling defense. I don't think that was the case down the stretch last night. Sometimes, people talk about make or miss league, which may be a phrase I hate, but it's true so often. And it wasn't stifling defense. There were so many good looks that the Sixers had down the stretch after taking a three-point lead. I believe it was 99-96. And they had been 12 for 24 on three-point shooting. And then they go 1 for their last 12. They go, they missed 9 out of 10 late after taking that lead. So, and many of those, if not wide open, were good enough looks. And the Sixers certainly felt last night it wasn't a case of anything defensively that happened to them. They happened to them. They couldn't shoot straight enough to close out after taking that marginal lead. They were right there the entire game. And they did a pretty good job on Brunson, who had volume, but wasn't all that efficient. And I'll give credit to Philly's defense for that and having to play without Joel Embiid. They managed that. But not being able to make a shot the last 4 minutes of the game was a killer.
And we'll see if Embiid is able to suit up as the series moves to Philadelphia for Game 3. Looking ahead to tonight's games, Wilbon, both the Cavs and the Lakers down 1-0 in their respective series. I'm curious which Game 2 tonight intrigues you more and why.
Well, I'm still trying to convince myself that OKC can be really challenged by the Lakers, and maybe that will happen. But I'm not starting with benefit of the doubt there tonight. I'm starting with Cleveland, which played Detroit dead even in the regular series. Was able to come back from a fairly large deficit in game 1 to tie it, but just had too many turnovers. I mean, James Harden spoke to it, and Donovan Mitchell and James Harden are going to have to play without turning the ball over freely. Those 20 Cleveland turnovers resulted in, I believe, 31 Detroit points. And for a team that sometimes has trouble scoring, the Pistons, of course, you can't give them that kind of assistance. So I would expect a cleaner game from the Cavaliers tonight in Game 2, even though they're still in Detroit. But I would expect if one team's going to even the series tonight, I would think it would be the Cavaliers and not necessarily the Lakers.
Yeah, Lakers a 15.5-point dog in that game, too. By the way, just the start of another busy day for you here, Michael, as we take a look at all the shows you appeared on yesterday. Take a look at this.
Don't show me that.
Well, at least you're done with it, right? By the way, tell Greeny to take it easy on you today after running through that gauntlet yesterday as you appear on Get Up after us.
All right. I'm going to give him that advice. We'll see if he listens.
Good luck.
Is our playoff MVPs are Michael Wilbon. To a team out of the playoffs, so the Bucks want to have Giannis Antetokounmpo's future resolved before next month's NBA draft. The Greek Freak has spent his entire career with the Bucks, but after 13 seasons, he said he wants to play for a franchise committed to competing for a championship. Here's Bucks owner Jimmy Haslam on Giannis.
I just think before the draft is a natural time, right? Because you're going to, if Giannis does play somewhere else, then we ought to get a lot of assets, and that's John's job to do it. If he's here, then you build the team differently. So, and I think that's also necessary. I just want to stress, though, that our relationship with him is very positive.
Is this a decision that keeps you up at night?
It's a big one. It's a big one, and you got to get it right. And John knows it, and Wes knows it. And we didn't hold back with Taylor. We just said, listen, he may or may not be with us, so don't come because of that, because you want to be straight up with people.
Whether he stays or goes, Giannis has definitely left his mark on the Bucks franchise. Giannis is one of 4 players that is a franchise's all-time leader in total points, rebounds, and...
Christina, the Lakers would love to have Luka Doncic back for Game 2 or at any point in this series against OKC. Unfortunately, he still does not know when he'll return from his grade 2 hamstring strain. Timetable for return estimated at 6 to 8 weeks. Game 2 tonight will mark 5 weeks exactly to the day since the injury occurred.
It's very frustrating. I don't think people understand how frustrating it is. All I want to do is play basketball, especially this time. It's the best time to play basketball. It's very frustrating, seeing what my team is doing. I'm very proud of them, but it's been very tough, just to see it and watch them play.
Yeah, playing without Luka against this team, yikes. LA has lost 4 straight series after losing Game 1. ESPN Analytics gives the Lakers a 5% chance to win this series.
His career is when he's healthy, the guy's awesome. But that's not a lot, unfortunately, in terms of the number of games he's missed over the course of his career. And OG Anunoby being out, and I've called him the best player on the team.
He's been spectacular for them.
My take has looked good in this series, in this postseason, I will say. Now, I understand that Brunson hits big shot after big shot. And I still don't understand why Philadelphia is not attacking him every single offensive possession. It makes no sense to me. But if OG is out for any period of time, could this series be lost? Are you already saying, Myron, for me, this series is over. OG's injury, I'm worried about him guarding Cade Cunningham or Donovan Mitchell if he needs to in the next round.
Yeah, I don't think it's over. I mean, especially if you tell me Embiid's back. We saw his monster performances in the first series, but I do think the Knicks have an edge. I think OG is the guy that really completes the team. And I do think they're a different team without him, but I think they can beat Philly if for some reason he's unavailable. I don't know that they can get to the finals without him. But let's see what's up with Embiid if he's healthy and if he can give them another monster performance like he did in the last series.
Yeah, obviously those two injuries are going to dictate the complexion of this series moving forward. But, Evan, you said OG was the best player for the Knicks, and I don't know if I would go best, but I would say certainly most consistent. I would say certainly a catalyst for them in so many ways. Yeah. And, yeah, if he is going to miss some time, I still would pick the Knicks to win, not only because
this series or
this series.
Okay.
I still would pick the Knicks to win, but I think it will be much closer and much more of a fight.
No question. No, and obviously the Embiid injury. You know, I texted our group chat the other night saying like he looks like he's hurt. And I don't know that they made anything of it on the broadcast. I'm not knocking anybody. I'm saying it was like a weird thing because he always looks hurt, but his ankle and hip, and who knows if he plays in a Game 3 Friday. Mitchell Robinson also didn't play last night for the Knicks. Myron, you said you don't like this underdog narrative from Knicks fans as if like they have some hurdle here because they are the, a top seed. They were there last year, et cetera. So let's go to someone who is actually promoting that underdog narrative. Let's go live to Bristol, Connecticut, a.k.a. Vegas East, and Juan Nuno, a producer of this show. Do you still look at the Knicks as an underdog, and are you concerned now that OG could be banged up?
So there's two different things, right? Like to your question is, I think yesterday was a huge win for them, a huge confidence win, because there was points in that game, especially when Maxey starts going off in that second quarter and Towns picks up his third foul. He is playing well and he picks up his third foul, and I'm like, that game could have gone away from them. It didn't.
No.
Even Jalen Brunson made a huge play late in that game in that quarter. So that part of it and showing that toughness and that, hey, we can win almost at any style, like especially if we're not hitting our threes. And then the other point is the OG. They will need OG for the rest of this playoffs. Maybe not necessarily in this game, like this series, but either with the Cavs or the Pistons, and obviously if they're fortunate enough, through all the hurdles that they have to face as a spunky underdog to get to the finals.
Uh-oh.
What'd you say?
Spunky underdog, Myron.
Spunky underdog.
Go off, Myron. Go for it.
Spunky underdog. Listen, you fired Tiz because you said he wasn't good enough to get you to the finals. You brought in Mike Brown, who Sacramento had fired, and you said this is the guy, right? If they don't get to the finals, I mean, this to me is a failure of a season, and it's a failure of a coaching hire because that's the only task that Mike Brown has. But I'm not going to call the Knicks some underdog. This isn't some Disney movie that we're talking about. They were viewed as a contender coming into the playoffs. They were viewed as a team that maybe should get to the finals. Now here we are. You got to prove it, but they're no underdogs. Spunky underdogs?
Spunky.
Absolutely.
You got to use spunky in that. It's spunky underdog from Juan Nuno.
Absolutely.
On this one. I think that Mike Brown has already proven to be a good coach for them. Like, I don't think that you have to get to the finals to justify the Mike Brown hiring.
I think you absolutely do.
Mike Brown has been to the finals.
What's the point of doing it, though?
Correct.
Because Tom Thibodeau is not a finals coach. You saw it in Minnesota. Tom Thibodeau is a great coach. He's not going to get you to the finals. Mike Brown can get you to the finals. And even if he doesn't,
has to do it.
Right,
we have to
but it's not like Tibbs would have if Mike Brown wouldn't have been the. Yeah, I do. Based on track record.
That's the argument. I don't know if that's the argument. You brought him in because you said we got to the cusp of the NBA Finals, and this guy wasn't good enough to get us where we wanted to go. So enter Mike Brown. Like, there's no other job description for Mike Brown than get us to the finals. And if he doesn't do that, the hire doesn't make sense.
More on that coming up. Yeah. Myron is based in Minnesota. Okay, Minnesota.
It's in the bio.
Yeah.
Okay.